Do it this way too, so I don't have to edit it. Okay. Okay. So, my speech is titled Punk, what is it, what it was then, and what it was now. And everyone's heard of punk, the makeup, the style, the music, but punk is not only a way of dressing or a genre, it's a lifestyle and a community. You may think that this movement has nothing to do with you, but you're probably wrong, and the influence not only on pop culture, but fashion is general and touches almost all of us. I will be going over punk as a word, a style, and a genre. So the history of the word. The punk as a word originated in about the 1600s with Shakespeare. He used it as a word to describe a female prostitute. And then in later literature in the 1700s, they used it as to describe a different type of prostitute as a male prostitute for older men. And so that is the first time that we see punk being used with queer connotations, and that doesn't ever really go away. So as punk grew and grew in the UK and then eventually came over to the US in the 60s with the punk rock movement, queer was kind of always a part of it. The band's singers and really extravagant members of the community were dressing in a certain way that proved to be pretty promiscuous or alternative and had them lumped in with the queer community. And rumors started to stir around about the people in the bands being gay, and they came out to be true. So it kind of just stuck. And I know you may have a picture of what punk looks like in your head, but I'm gonna refine it a little bit. So it's not emo, it's not goth, it's not scene. Those are all very different things. And so for example, goth is very black clothes, pale face, really dark, melancholy kind of vibe, while punk is more DIY, industrial, and a little bit more of a functional, rebellious style. And so punk rock can be generally characterized by very simple things like leather jackets, black jeans, Converse, studded belts, ties, combat boots, but it's a lot more than that. It's a self-expression through hair, makeup, pins, protests, politics, music. It's a societal thing. When you think of punk, think of Vivienne Westwood as a brand to start off from. She was coined the mother of punk for a reason. The rebellion against modern fashion was a huge catalyst for punk. Staying with the functional and industrial aspects of the style was truly what set them apart. As you can see, the stylistic aspects of punk are not only deeper than you previously thought, but maybe now you're starting to see it all around you. Punk has an influence on fashion from Converse to Doc Martens, or even DIYing your clothes, like cutting them, adding holes, painting them, adding pins or safety pins to them. That all started with punk. And shoes, especially like Doc Martens, were really boosted into popularity by the subculture, and almost everybody owns a pair now. So as you can see, that just because things become mainstream doesn't take them away from the punk style. It's still a subculture, even though it's being influenced. And those communities are now more widely accepted because of its influence on pop culture. But punk is not only a style, but a genre of music, as we all know with punk rock. Bands that come to mind are the Stooges, the Clash, the Sex Pistols, and those are typically what everybody kind of has in mind when you think of punk. The bands not only paved the way for the genre, but other artists like David Bowie has always coined his level of theatrics and individuality to the punk movement. He said that he saw those singers and bands be themselves, and it really pushed him to do that as well. Punk not only influences rock music and its artists, but fashion and also the queer community. Punk has a strong history with alternative and queer communities, but that doesn't mean it doesn't affect all of pop culture. Punk has really influenced especially the younger generations now and how we feel more comfortable to express ourselves through clothes, music, ideologies, and all things like that, and to be public about it. Punk has a strong history, but will continue to have a stronger future. The style, aesthetic, music, lifestyle will always have an influence people, no matter how niche or popular it becomes. The movement will always live on, just as it does now. Say bye.